Remember when I was in hospital, I gave birth to this child. I didn't even have clothes. And here I was giving birth to this child, and there was one of her aunts, at least I think the clothes said it donated, you know. And I think I knew right there and there who I need to now. I've got a baby now. I need to work hard and, you know, just make sure I provide. And Joyce, the sister, I've never gotten the I'm sorry. I've never gotten the explanation, even 30 years later. My daughter just turned 30 now. You know, last week it was a birthday. So I've never gotten that from Yena. So I had to move on. But all I know, Guri, I needed to work myself up. I needed to make sure I feed this baby. I needed to make sure I clothe the baby. I needed to make sure, you know, and the first thing that I did, at least the sister would come and look after the child, you know.
And, you know, 30 years later, I've never received an apology. My question to you is, have you ever sat down with Somizi and tell him the struggles that you went through, you know, when he wasn't there, and the things that you had to go through, and how you felt about everything till today? Have you ever done that?
No, I've never done it. I think maybe that's why I cry, you know. Not that, you know, sometimes it's not like you really want somebody to come and say, hi, I'm sorry, or anything like that. But it would be, I think, ubuntu for somebody to acknowledge. But like I say, unless if he doesn't see it that way, you know what I mean? It's okay, Kitlari. You cannot force somebody. Your life just needs to go on. He has never done it. I don't even think he ever will, or I don't even know if he ever will, and I don't even know if whether he's aware, you know. To me, I feel like he's somebody who's very self-centered, you know what I mean? It's all about him. And the sad part is because he is so famous and he's such a public figure, anything that you would say about someone like him, you would get his followers and his fans that will troll on you, that will, you know, and some of them would say, usamthanda, usahed namanje. Like, people can be so bitter, and, you know, like the sad part or about having a child with someone who is so powerful in the media space, somebody who has so many followers, somebody who is so big, like, people idolize him. People see him as, you know, like he is the God to them. He would never make mistakes. He is holy. He's the big guy, you know. Don't touch. So if anyone else can, you know, say anything that is maybe not right about him, like, people will come to you.
Like, they will come for you.
I remember there was a time when I posted my kids. You know what I mean? I've got 3 kids, by the way. I've got a daughter, Bahumi, my first one, and then I've got a son who's 21 years old. I've got 2 graduates in the house.
Is it?
Yeah, you know. And I've got my last one, Muhumi, as well. You know, I remember when I posted my 2 kids and I said, yo, God is so good. I've got 2 graduates, you know, being a single mom and everything. Yo, did you see people coming in my DMs say, what do you mean single mom? Who said she's never been there? I'm like, you know, I ended up just now blocking, because I'm not going to answer, especially the nobodies that are just sitting there in the corner, got the entire hotspot. You know?
Yeah, no, that is true. People on social media can piss you off, like, a lot, you know.
But anyhow, all I'm just basically saying, Gori, some people can idolize someone so much, that person can never do wrong in their eyes. Even if you tell your side of the story, you know, to them he can never do wrong. He can never be wrong. So anything that you say about him, it will be you against them. You know. So it's like when you cannot tell your story. People have a way of shutting you down so much, of suppressing you so much, and being so like they can shut you up. And I think I've had to come up and say, now it is time for me to tell my story the way I want to. It is now time for me to talk. all along I've been quiet, and I've been quiet all because I was protecting this little girl so much from being bullied at school, because in the time when she was a teenager, she was being bullied, especially when people started to find out whose daughter she is. They would say, your dad is gay. Yeah, is your dad gay? And things like that. Bahumi would come back home crying and things like that. So I had to be the mother in that. The motherhood had to kick in and say, I'm not going to go out and fight people. I'm not going to, I did my best, the best that I could as a woman, as a mother, to protect this child from all these trolls, from going through what I went through when I was sonet, when I was rejected, when I was told, onana ke mang o maka o mo tshwarisa ngwana o mo tshwarisa jazi o jazi ditabani di ka se bane le bana. That's the words that I'm not saying, I'm not saying those words, I'm just telling you what people
were saying.
I think that's when he took over the role of being Bahumi's dad. So what I'm basically saying is, if I can say there's anyone who is Bahumi's father, is my ex-husband. This man was there for Bahumi when Bahumi was even turning 1 year old. This man was there for Bahumi when Bahumi started school, even though Somizi would come here and there, you know what I mean, because I think he had to accept, because now this child would do like obona and then whatever, but yeah, so when my son, when I think Bahumi was about, I think 6-7 years old, that's when I felt pregnant. And that womb man in me, I always say, you know what I mean, yes, I'm a woman, I gave birth, I'm a nurturer. Maybe that's why I react the way I react, because there is no error in production in me that makes me a woman, and no accidental blend of genes or chromosomes. That's why I'm a woman. So whatever it is that happens, the woman in me, the nurturing in me would have to come in and protect my cubs. So yes, you are free to live your life. You are free to go on and say, hi, mina ngiyayiphilela. You are free to act the way you want to act. You are free to do whatever, and everything on you is on social media. But you do not think of the one that is being bullied, the one that is always being asked, yo, how do you feel? What is it? So, you know what I mean? Unfortunately, maybe sometimes some people would come in, people would say, yo, Palesa o bitter. And I'm like, wow. Now, 30 years later, bitter. Oh, Palesa, are you to come and tell me who bitter, and still disrespect me so much and call me a baby mama? You know what? What is that? A baby mama.
Yeah.
Now that is so disrespectful.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, Lona, you harika bulatsa lona di window gale okomela. O tholo tsa lona di nkgaphu ditaba. Like go ka tholo ye di nkgaphu mara wena o busy shebane le Palesa o tlo comment ntho sa itsebeng, and you comment about me. Right now I'm going to talk because my kids are grown. I've got a voice now. I've been suppressed for so long. And then now you've got a nerve to come and call me a baby mama. I'm not ashamed. I've got a child with Somizi. I've never been ashamed, and I'm not even bitter about it. Right now, I even laugh about it, and I even thank God who will find that, is a lesson for me, because now that lesson, spoiled Bahumi, it's not like Bahumi is spoiled. Bahumi is not a spoiled child. Bahumi doesn't live 10,000 every day. Bahumi works hard for her money, for whatever it is that she wants to do. But she even though her father is living wealthy or rich or looks like it, but Bahumi doesn't live like that. You know what I mean?
I would be pleased.
Will speak for herself.
Yeah.
But one thing that I know, Guri, it was his life, Mohale's life, was totally opposite. 360 degrees opposite to Bahumi's life. Bahumi has never been in a jet. Not that she wants to be in a jet. She's not that type of a person. She's a very genuine, woman like that. But I will not give you Mohale Hambi. You know what I mean? I don't think Mohale wanted that to happen. Maybe he came in there innocently. We don't know why. People keep on about na get a chelete hakana chelete o dan lori ke spendele ngwana ke dan lori ke spendele family ka dan lori ke letse what's why is everything like you can throw a party le paletsa men di jet le di holidaying o letse batho wetseng, but ya how family,
my goodness,
and I ke ya how family ke bui fela ka ngwana hao. And I'm not here to expose anything or talk, but I'm just telling my side of the story, my journey, how I'm living right now. Not that I'm bitter, not that I want anybody's money. And by the way, no, I am not down and out. I don't want anybody's money. Palesa has got a company, Tabamo, I do project, I do activations, I do project management. I also consult with Moja as well as a associate producer. The show Yazoto Wabantu, I'm the one that was co-producing it. The way down and out when I have a family, by Lunghori, they're high profile. My sister's got a very high profile job. Even on months we are not working, my sister knows how to pick me up and say, I've got a sister who's an advocate. Every time I create lady case over boost. So how can you call me down and out when I've got my uncle who's a judge, my sister who's an advocate, my sister who's got, I've got very good family. I've got my dad, my dad stay alone. Even if it can happen, maybe do better. I've got a home, and by the way, I just bought a stand cash, so
now,
very soon
right that Zimoja.
So just because you don't see Palesa on TV, don't come and say Palesa o grille 9 to 5 job ka whatever limited information we grille on tlasa carpet and come and belittle me like that. No, don't do that. Don't do that, Zimoja. Please, you better recognize.
They better. I mean, at this point, they really honestly better.
Everybody and welcome. This is the Coffee with Jay. I hope you guys are doing great. Now, please do kindly consider subscribing to this channel if you haven't done so already. I promise you, you're going to love it here. And also, please make sure to press your like buttons before you leave. Now, the interview by Palesa, I must say, I have to give it to Owami. That was a very great interview. Perfectly done. You could tell that Owami was in sync with Palesa. It's just one of those emotional interviews where you can tell that the presenter is really paying attention to what the guest is saying. And I'm glad that finally Palesa says something for herself, because we've always wanted to hear her side of the story. And I don't want to lie, I'm shocked at some of the things that she said, but I don't want to lie again. I think I've always suspected that there was something off about Somizi and Bahumi's relationship. You could see that they were not connecting, and it now makes sense when Palesa talks about it, that they were just acting in front of the cameras so that they could portray Somizi as this perfect person that they could elevate. I mean, he's a person in the public eye, so they can't really tarnish his name, and is out there living lavishly while he is not doing anything or little for his daughter. I don't want to lie, the part about Bahumi being born and Palesa struggling with that is just a global phenomenon at this point. Men are neglecting their children, they're neglecting their duties, but they would spend on their side chicks, they would spend on their friends, they'll just spend on anything else but not their children's welfare. I'm sure at that time Somizi must have been working at Sarafina or something, so he could have, if he wanted to, taken care of his child, but he chose not to. And because he doesn't have that connection, maybe that's why he doesn't even feel like he has to do it now. Palesa also touched on the fact that they have no contact with him. The last time they saw him was on the filming of Living the Dream, but I think I did see Bahumi on Somizi's birthday. She was there indeed, but I guess there's really not much of a connection between the two of them. He's just a father who's there for the cameras, and he'll obviously want to show the world that he is there for his daughter, but we know in actual fact that he is not. It's one of the saddest things to see. Somizi is out there in everybody's business on TikTok. He's forever commenting Brenda Ngoli, who this, who that, and what about his own business? I mean, Palesa has even exposed the fact that he's not even taking care of his own family. At this point, it's sad. It really is. And he's out there wearing Gucci from head to toe. I'm not saying Somizi shouldn't. It's his money and he has every right to spend it however way he wants. But he should also consider taking care of his daughter and his family. I am 100% behind Palesa. I don't want to hear Somizi's side of the story, because Palesa is a woman who's been hurting for the past 30 years. And she was looking for the chance to finally speak about this. And and she got it. And thank you so much, Owami, giving her the platform. I mean, you could tell that she's been keeping all of this for the past 30 years, and she's finally had the chance to speak to the trolls that have been tormenting her all of these years, especially Somizi's fans. That's where we need to draw the line. Please, guys, we need to know that there should be a line you draw even when you're someone's fan. Don't be so delusional that you think that that person can never do anything wrong. That's where a problem is. You find someone shouting, and she's saying, why are you speaking like that about that person? Doesn't even know about you. They don't even know you exist. They don't care. They wouldn't even give you 1 rand, and you're out here defending them and shouting and even insulting someone. The nerve. Yet that person does not even know of your existence, and they will never even look at you in public. Okay, people need to know that these celebrities are also people who make mistakes. I'm so proud of you, Palesa. I'm very happy to see that she's glowing and looking absolutely beautiful. All women need to know that they need to speak out against this man. We've had it just about enough. And someone is out here in his old age acting like a complete fool. This is the end of this video. Do let me know what you think down in the comment section.